Welcome to another episode of the Pain and the Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Darrin Bedford, and today I'm sitting down with the lovely Felicia Carr. And today's conversation, I'm going to go ahead and say trigger warning in the beginning because we're talking about something deep, and that is suicide, when someone completes suicide, and the aftermath of the family members who are left holding a bag. Unfortunately, she's had several family members complete suicide. So I'll be talking to you from the perspective of someone who attempted suicide, and she's going to talk to you from the perspective of a family member who was left holding a bag, lost and confused on how they could have prevented it. So with that being said, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We here.
Right. Yes, we are here. Yes.
So I would just say, first of all, thank you for sitting down and having this difficult conversation.
You're welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
Because this one will impact someone.
But yeah, absolutely.
And so I'll start off by saying, last year you invited me to speak at your suicide summit. Mm-hmm. And that was my first time talking about my suicide attempts publicly.
You did great.
Thank you. I had never talked about them. Mm-hmm. I mentioned them a few times to close people, but I've never talked about them. Mm-hmm. And that was my first time actually explaining. So my daughter was in the room, mm-hmm. and that was her first time hearing. Mm-hmm. So we had a conversation afterwards. Mm-hmm. And her hearing that her father, her superhero, we had to have a deep conversation.
Right.
So as the auntie, you know what I mean, of someone who completed suicide, tell us that process.
Yeah. So I've been that auntie 4 times. Mm-hmm. So I've had 4 nephews die by suicide, the youngest being 13. It leaves such a huge void because you're always wondering why. Was there any signs? Did I see anything? Could I change anything? Could I have changed anything? It's something that I wouldn't want anybody to experience. And then to have to experience it 4 times, like, it's like, okay, this cannot be life. Like, this isn't real. But yeah, but it's, I mean, how can I explain it? It's this emptiness that will never be able to be filled because it happens so sudden, and it's just like, it happens. And with the 4 times that it happened for me, there was no notes, there was no nothing, so it just happened. So yeah. It's just over and over again. It's just why, you know? But it's people who die by suicide, they don't realize the void that they're going to leave in their loved ones' lives. And I think that's what needs to be talked about most, because in that moment, most times they feel like they aren't loved and they don't realize how much they actually are loved. But then once they complete it, they're no longer here to hear it. But we can say it, but they're not here to receive it.
Because as someone who attempted, right, it's the difference between being told I love you and feeling the love.
That's true.
So as a child, I often felt like, why am I here? You know what I mean? We never talk about, or we don't talk about enough, how the 13 to 24-year-olds, they probably had the highest suicide completion rates. It's a part of life where, in my case, my parents were divorced, and both of these new families, you don't feel like you're fitting in. And you start feeling like the problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And yes. And until the last attempt, like, it was able to be swept under the rug. Mm-hmm. Right? So is how do we show these young men that they are loved? And me and my other homeboy was talking about the other day, because he lost his mom and I lost my mom, and we are popular in the community, but a handful only showed up. And so when I'm out in public, people will come and say, sorry for your loss, right? But it's an empty sorry for your loss. So I think that's what we should address. Like, how do we make people feel loved? Like, how do we show up for people like we show up for their funerals?
We have to show up while they're here. We definitely have to show up and be present. Like when I was growing up, there was not a lot of I love yous going around my house. My mother, she didn't tell me that she loved me until I was 38 years old. My brother was dying, actively dying of cancer, when she told me for the first time that she loved me. I knew she loved me, but she never told me. First time, 38 years old. I didn't get any hugs growing up, none of that. So, and I can see how for some people that may be a breaking point for them, because they're not getting what it is that they want. So I can see that for some people. But we have to show up. We have to be there. A phone call, yeah, that's great, but you have to make an effort. A lot of people say, I didn't see any signs. Most times because you weren't really present to see the signs. There were signs, but 9 times out of 10, you don't know what signs to look for, honestly.
So a few signs, speaking of signs, a few signs that I now look for in people is changing their demeanor. If you are a well-kept or well-dressed person and you start letting your appearance go, if you start saying like off the wall stuff, like not really off the wall, but dropping little hints,
right?
It's a lot of truth in the jokes, right? So if someone says something to me in a joking manner, I double back and be like, so what did that really mean, bro?
Right.
Like what we talking about here? And I lean in. And if I gotta take you to lunch, or if I gotta, like, a lot of this stuff that people think is big are not really big, and the things that people think are small are huge when you're in a mental space of wanting to do something like that. And the average person that completes suicide was just looking for a solution to a problem or an extreme amount of pain that they were facing, and they couldn't find it. And most men and some women don't have nobody to talk to. Women talk more, obviously,
right?
But men just feel like they have no place to go.
But why is that?
Me growing up, I can speak for myself. The people that I grew up with would make jokes. So even with the last attempt, like I jumped in my car and I went full speed into a telephone pole, right? Busted my face, woke up in the hospital. Then a couple of weeks later, I go to the hood. I'm outside. I'm back on the block. That nigga crazy, woo! And it's just a dog and pony show, and there's no real. So what are you thinking?
Right.
Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like, the only person that really gave me that was my grandmama. You know what I'm saying? And it was, like I said, at the summit, it was my grandmother's love and the promise I kept to her. Even though she's not here no more, I still keep that promise to her.
Right.
And it's a good thing because life been lifing on some real heavy terms. But now I got more tools in my tool belt, so that's not even the option.
Right.
Now I think about hurting other people sometimes.
Oh Lord, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do
it.
But
you know, it's just but and I think we should point out that a lot of people have those thoughts, and that's not unusual.
Absolutely.
So I think it's also a stigma that says if I think like this, I'm crazy.
No, not at all.
No, it's a thought, right? That we're not supposed to act on.
Right.
But it's also a thought that should be discussed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because I mean, you keep thinking about it and thinking about it, then you may act on it. I mean, you have to. You can't just sit on it.
And so, if you having a thought, talk to someone. Mm-hmm. Now, I created the Lead with Love T-shirt, and it's a suicide prevention T-shirt. It's listen, not for for understanding, not for agreement. You got to offer a safe space.
Absolutely.
A judgment-free zone. Validate whatever emotion that they're going through. You don't have to understand it. Just let them know that every emotion is valid and it's a positive way to process every emotion.
Right.
And you got to lead with empathy.
Absolutely. And a lot of people do not know how to lead with empathy. They don't even know what empathy is.
And so, being that you lost 4 nephews, right? And it's a 5th. You lost
my cousin.
Your cousin. Because I'm about to say during the summit, you said you lost 5. You had 5 names. You had 5 chairs there, right? See, I be remembering some stuff. I pay attention. Each one of those left a different void in you. How does a family member process that?
How to process it? Honestly, for me, I'm not sure if I have processed it yet.
So you may not have directly processed it, right, to the point where the way you're thinking about it, but oftentimes, which may be the case in 1 or 2 of your nephews, when someone else completes, they now see that as a viable option. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you process it to the point where it's not an option for you.
Right.
So you process it to some degree. You may not have healed from it, but you've processed it. And so, well, you probably won't know what you did. You probably you can't think of anything that you've done.
I think because it keeps happening. It keeps happening. Like, it's been happening since 2011. And it just, I don't think I've had time to process it. Because 5 people, it's happened, and then it happens. And I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't have an answer. And I don't know if I haven't processed it because I've just tucked it away.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
True.
I mean, but I've never thought about it. I don't think I've really processed it. Wow. Yeah.
I told you the conversation.
Wow.
May get deep.
Oh, wait. God damn you. Okay, yeah.
But okay, so do you have any advice for another family member that's been forced to deal with the aftermath?
Be there for one another. Don't ever stop being there for one another because you never know. Because like you said, it almost like for me, it's like they're looking at it as an easy out.
Yeah,
it's happened 4 times in my family, so it's like, okay, we got to really check in. We got to really be there. We got to do some stuff different.
And so I would start telling the other young men in your family that there's other solutions to the problem.
Absolutely. And I always say, they're making a permanent decision on a temporary feeling.
Yeah, a lot of people say things like that, right? But cliche statements don't really work in these type of situations. Like, no, you're going through this. There's other options.
Right.
Like, let me help you find an option. I really stay away from cliche statements, especially because I've been hearing them for the last 2.5 years. And I've been wanting to punch people in their throat.
Right.
Because I think people say things a lot just out of
not knowing what to say.
Not knowing what to say, and because they've heard it so much that they think it's something cool to say.
Yeah, that's true.
So, nah, like, unfortunately, it's like, it's not, if it's not talked about, right, or if it's not something that has been done in the family, the likelihood of you being a first is slim. But once someone does it in the family, it does have like a trickle effect.
Right.
It's like when someone famous does complete suicide, it's a spike in suicides because they did it. I could do it too. You know what I'm saying?
I think all families should I think all parents should talk to their kids. All kids should be should be sat down and a conversation should be had with them about suicide. Even if you just ask, have you ever thought about it?
Yes, definitely.
I think that's one question that every parent should ask their child. Have you thought about it?
Yes.
And really pay attention to their answer and really pay attention to their body language and watch if there's any shifts or if there's, if they answer too fast or it's too, just you have to really be aware and you have to really pay attention.
And so I wrote a book that I haven't released yet, but I'll email you a copy of it. It's called Give Tomorrow a Chance. It's like a comprehensive journal. Well, not really a journal, workbook. It asks questions that someone should ask and it leaves space for the answer. And then I give like some real tangible tools in there to help someone. And I'm gonna introduce this to the school system because the school districts are having a spike in suicides. And once a student does it, it's another, because like I said, he did it, so I could do it. Yeah. Because people are looking at it as a viable solution to their problem, and it's not, because like you just said, it's a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. But how do we get them to understand that when the pain is right here and it's present?
Right.
So I think society does need to do a better job of not really banishing, or not banishing, or lack of a better term, making it like a negative thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just like the same with therapy.
It's like stigmatized.
Yeah. If you go to therapy, you crazy. No, it's not none of that. If I hate to hear people say when they hear that someone died by suicide, oh, they were weak. No. Do you know how strong of a person you have to be to even get to that point, to even think about it or even act on it? Like that, like, how dare you say that to somebody?
But I also see people, this is the craziest shit I've seen thus far. We both know someone on Facebook who just recently completed suicide, right? It is somebody on there demanding to know how.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how.
Yeah. And his daughter was like, how dare you? Like, you feel that entitled based on your friendship that you're going to invade my whole family privacy based on some things that you believe?
Yeah.
Like, the nerve of you.
People don't get it. Selfish.
So I would say, as someone who now no longer thinks about it and actually when somebody call me and I can sense in their voice that it's one of those moments, I will leave the house for that. I will leave or I invite them out here and we'll go. But like, start showing up for your people.
Right, absolutely.
Start showing up for them, because everybody's not as strong as you think they are.
I'm the friend. If I don't hear from you, I'm gonna come knocking at your door. I'm one of them.
And so
I'm popping up.
People need that though. People need that.
That's actually, I found a good friend of mine. She was having a mental health crisis, and nobody had heard from her. And I had a conversation with her, and just the conversation was off. So the next day, I popped up at her door, and I found her. And it took a while to get her help and to get her back, but she is coming back. But yeah, I did that pop up.
Yeah. And thank you, because the world needs more people to take this seriously, right? Because at the end of the day, we losing way too many people for things that can be fixed, right? And I tell people all the time, like, sometimes you gotta let the phone ring. You just gotta let the phone ring. Like, I had somebody close to me, like almost let like bill collectors rattle their cage. I'm like, you know what I used to tell bill collectors? Man, you put the date down so we both be surprised when the bill don't get paid.
Right.
Like you can't let those type of things get to you.
It is what it is.
You control what you can control. You can't control what you can't. And the best thing you can do is like do your best.
That's it.
But in that book, Give Tomorrow a Chance. That's the name of the book, Give Tomorrow a Chance. I talk about a host of things. You know what I'm saying? Because looking at somebody in the casket, that when it comes out why they did it, and you like, that would have been easy math to me.
But to them it wasn't.
So I've had a situation where, this was years ago, when it came out why, it was probably a few $100s, right? And at that time, the money wasn't the problem.
Right.
And from that point on, like, I'm like, don't let money be the reason why. And I've never been a stingy guy.
Right.
They just didn't ask me.
Right. But then they also probably felt like, I mean, depending on how they grew up, don't ask anybody for anything, or even saying, or the people that they have asked, they may have felt let down by them. So I mean, you know, it kind of puts you into, I'm not asking nobody for nothing, but you could have.
You could have, and I tell people all the time, I'm always good for a meal and a good conversation.
Right.
If I ain't good for nothing else, you can call me for a meal and a good conversation.
Right.
I will feed you, and we will have a great time. We're gonna laugh. We probably gonna even slip some drinks in.
Right.
But sometimes that's all people need.
Yeah, that's it. Just a little time. Just a little time. A little face-to-face time. That's it.
A little face-to-face time. I think these phones play a big part in it too.
Absolutely. For technology, the computers, everything, like, it has really desensitized everybody to just, I mean, even myself, I would prefer to text than to have a conversation sometimes. And I don't know, I need to get out of that. But I mean, I'm saying that's...
Especially at least now we're having this conversation,
right.
Now you'll know that with at least the younger men in your family, right? Because I would imagine they all fell between that 13 and 24 age range.
Well, yeah. Well, no. One of them 13 and the rest were in their late 20s, early 30s.
Well, the early 30s probably was a little different, but just giving them a little bit of extra love.
Oh, yeah. Me and my nephews, like, And it's so crazy because like one of my nephews who died by suicide, like we were tight. Like I would have never even thought like like he used to live with me. Like he could have come and talked to me about anything. Like, I'll check in on him, but I guess,
Yeah.
it wasn't enough. Per se.
But we do what you can.
Right.
Do what you can.
Right.
So it's also a point where no matter what you do, if once they get it in their head, wherever they get the idea from,
right,
we can't stop it,
right.
So, and I think I should add that into the book too, because prevention is one thing, right? But some people just be hell bent on doing it wherever they got the idea from, because it all starts with an idea, right? And so once we do the best that we can, we pray and we hope that it's enough. But when it's not, I don't want you to beat yourself up either.
Right. That's true.
So I think that this was a pretty dope conversation.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to make you cry.
It's all right. I learned some things.
So now, since you back to your therapist.
You're right. Like, look, lady,
there's some things I haven't processed yet. I went and talked to this dude on the podcast. We were supposed to have a great conversation. Right. He had me crying. No. But all seriousness aside, if you're thinking about, or if you're having thoughts of taking yourself off the board, committing suicide, talk to somebody.
Yes.
Whatever you're going through,
please do.
It's something that can be fixed, no matter the pain or the problem. Everything has a positive solution. You may not be able to see the solution right now based on your mind being cloudy, but if this video reached you, just know that it's other options.
Absolutely.
It don't have to be that way. With that being said, this has been another episode of the Pain and the Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Darrin. I have talked to the lovely Felicia, and we would love to see you alive and free. Bump into us outside whenever I come outside, and shake a hand, meet a friend. We love y'all. Peace.
Yes, thank you.